Less than 6 weeks ago in Texas, Democrats in the legislature there successfully beat back what might have been the most severe voting restrictions proposed by Republicans anywhere in the country this year so far. The Democrats in Texas staged a dramatic walkout at the 11th hour. It was a tactical surprise to the Republicans, and it ended up torpedoing the anti-voting rights bill the Republicans were otherwise on track to pass. With their walkout 6 weeks ago, the Democrats forced the Texas legislature to adjourn its 2021 session without having passed that anti-voting rights bill. Well, starting today, Texas's Republican Governor Greg Abbott has called the legislature back for a special session, a so-called extraordinary session. So Republicans, among other things, can take a second shot at getting those voting restrictions in place before the next election. And so with the new special session, today starts round two. Democratic lawmakers came back to the state capitol in Texas again today, ready to fight again against that same legislation.
When I looked at the proclamation, it said that he was calling this for extraordinary reasons. That's the language of the proclamation.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, the growth in this state has been because of Black, brown, and Asian folk.
Yeah.
That is who is growing in this state. Texas has more African Americans than any other state in this country. So all of a sudden, it's an extraordinary issue that we now need to change the rules to voting.
We're here to say, not on our watch. We will not allow you to re-envision Jim Crow 2.0. No, it's not a poll tax or a literacy test. It's not how many bubbles in the bar of soap, but it is voter suppression. You can't tell me that there is a reason why we're eliminating 24-hour voting, why we're eliminating mobile voting, why we're doing things to make it put criminal penalties for helping people to vote.
The fight is joined once again in Texas today. We will see what Texas Democrats can do to try to stop this. But it's, of course, not just happening in Texas. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris appeared at Howard University. She announced a $25 million expansion of an initiative in the Democratic Party to promote voter education, voter protection, voter registration across the country, all to try to blunt the effects of some of these new voter suppression laws that Republicans are passing all across the country.
Your vote is your power. And so I say, don't let anybody ever take your power from you. Don't let anybody take your power from you, especially the power of your voice. We will not let anyone take away our power. And that's why we are all here together today. We're not going to let that happen. And so we need to fight back.
We need to fight back. Later in the day today, Vice President Harris and President Biden held a closed-door working meeting at the White House with a number of civil rights leaders and voting rights advocates about what exactly that fight back looks like, how to get through this impasse, how to come up with some way to fight this battle, even as Republicans in state after state pass new voting restrictions. Federal legislation that would backstop voting rights, that would protect voters across the country, remains apparently inexorably stalled in the United States Senate. I will tell you that those leaders and activists who met with the president and vice president at the White House today, they came out of that meeting sounding ready to fight, saying that they think President Biden agrees with them that voting rights is an emergency that needs immediate action. What does that mean, though, in terms of what can be done? When you run up against a wall, if you can't go through it, you have to go over it, under it, or around it. What's the plan?